I welcome you all in the next video tutorial of HV Board of Departmental Examination Preparation Paper 1 Financial Administration. So dear all, in this video we are going to cover a previously asked question, and this question was asked in April 2017. The question was, write a note on hiring of consultancy services. So what is this concept of hiring of consultancy services? किससे related है ये? Before starting video, this is for educational purposes only. No commercialization is involved, and please refer to standard rules and procedures in case of any deviations. As you can see, this is HPFR 2009. The Part C, Rule number 122, said about the hiring of consultancy services, engagement of experts. And Rule 123 is the preparation of tender inquiry documents. 124, identification of consultant through advertised tender system. 125, identification of consultant through limited tender system. 126, shortlisting of consultants deals. What is this consultancy services? So as you can see, part C of what? First of all, we have to see what is part C, and it is included in which type of rule. Here you can see part B, contracting and outsourcing of services. Let's see now what is the part A. Here it is, the part A deals with the procurement of goods. So chapter number 6, here it is, the chapter number 6 has a heading of procurement of goods and services, and in chapter number 6 there are three parts. Part A, that is the procurement of goods, as you can see, and part B deals with the, we have completed this point. The part B deals with the contracting and outsourcing of services, and part C deals with the consultancy services. That is the topic of concern today, how to hire consultancy services. And it has different parts: engagement of experts, preparation of tender inquiry documents, identification of consultant through advertised tender system, and identification of consultant through limited tender system, and finally shortlisting of consultants. So let's start these one by one and complete the topic. First of all, Rule 122 said about the engagement of experts, that a department may hire professionally qualified persons, consultancy firm and consultants having technical expertise for specified services in which the concerned department does not have requisite expertise on such term and condition as may be mutually agreed upon. So for this, first of all, there are different procedure for engagement of experts or using or hiring the consultancy services. So that is the preparation of tender inquiry documents. So the department shall prepare the tender inquiry documents as under. The detail of services to be rendered by the consultant is mentioned. The facilities and the input which shall be provided to the consultant by the department. Eligibility criteria for rendering the consultancy services is mentioned. Then the statutory and the contractual obligation to be compiled with by the consultants. The consultant's past experience in the similar work or services may be used. This is very important. Any other condition that department deem fit. The how to identify consultant through advertised tender system method. So there is a procedure mentioning here in the rule number 124 of HPFR 2009 that subject to exceptions under this rule, this method shall be used for the identification of consultants for hiring services of rupees 10 lakh and above, or such limit may be prescribed. So there is a first condition in this, it is mentioned services of amounting rupees 10 lakh and above, for which we have to go for the advertised tender system method. So advertisement is given in different leading newspaper, and generally two leading newspapers are selected for wide circulation. And the department may publish its website also, it's all the news in its own website also. The department shall also post the complete tender document in its website and permit prospective bidders to make use of the document downloaded from the website. And if such documents are priced, so there shall be clear mentioning of price and each and everything term and condition, the tender documents. The minimum time to be allowed for the submission of bid shall be 3 weeks, and the date of publication of tender notice or availability of a tender notice for the sale, whichever is later. And the bid received after a date and time specified for the receipt shall not be considered. So this is very important point again. So identification of consultant through limited tender method is mentioned in rule number 125 of HPFR 2009. So it said that the limited tender system shall be adopted for the identification of consultant for hiring costing rupees up to 10 lakh. So you have to remember this thing, up to 10 lakh there is a method of limited tender system, and above 10 lakh there is a member of advertised tender system. And in this limited tender system, the copies of the tender document shall be sent directly by speed post or registered post or courier or through email to the bidders, which deals in providing the services. And you can remember this thing, the number of bidders in the tender system, that is the limited tender system, shall not be less than 3. So minimum 3 bidders are required. And also the identification of the consultant for hiring the services through limited tender may be adopted even where the estimated value of hiring such consultancy services is more than the limit specified under Rule 1 in the following circumstances. So there is a condition that is specified in which limited tender system shall be adopted. So what are these conditions? The head of department, where the head of department certifies that the identification of consultants for hiring the services through limited tender system is justified in the view of urgency, indicating their reason why the requirement of the consultancy services could not be anticipated for restoring to advertisement system method. Though you have to give a reason when you follow this limited tender system method over the advertisement tender system method. And there is sufficient reason to be recorded in writing by the department that it shall not be in the public interest to identify the consultant through advertised tender method. So you have to report why are you not used this advertised tender method and why you are go for the limited tender method. You have to document the entire documents. And finally, Rule 126 said about the shortlisting of the consultant means after compiling with the procedure laid down the rules 124 and 125, the consultant offering for rendering services shall be shortlisted by the department as laid down in the rule number 123. The rule number 123 has a clear mentioning of the preparation of the tender inquiry documents. And in this case also bid security is taken in the form of different banking instruments like bank draft. That is rule number 127 has a detailed information about it. And we have already know the amount of bid security shall be between 2 to 5% of the estimated rate of the contract. And yes, remember this thing, the bid security of the unsuccessful bidder shall be refunded to them at the earliest after the expiry of the final validity of the bid. And you have to follow the procedure as mentioned here. And there is also provision that in case of bid security deposited by the bidder shall be forfeited in these cases in which a modification or withdrawal of the bid after deadline submission has been made, refusal by the bidder to accept the arithmetic error, failure on the part of the successful bidder to sign the contract, then failure on the part of the successful bidder to provide performance security it is necessary and mandatory from the part of the bidders, failure on the part of the successful bidder to execute the contract as per term and condition laid down in the tender document. So while completing this question, you have to mention all these rules. I hope this will give a brief idea about the hiring of the consultancy services. It is mentioned in the part C of chapter number 6. In the end, I acknowledge all the sources I have used to prepare this video. So thank you very much for your valuable time.